Well, I am excited to have Ann Rhoda with us today. Ann is the current borough manager for Elizabethtown. She's been with the borough since 2017, and prior to that, she was with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. She lives in Elizabethtown with her husband and 3 children. So welcome, Ann.
Thank you. So I know Rebecca and I were here about a year ago. Okay. So Rebecca and I were here about a year ago. At that time, I was the assistant manager. About 8 months ago, I took over the role of borough manager, and I'd like to say it's been slow, been not a whole lot going on, but we know in municipal government that's not always the case. Over the last 8 months, we've had a lot going on, and we have a lot more that we're moving forward into the future with the direction of Borough Council. So just this year, we have 2 new council members and 1 returning member that was reelected. We have brought on a new police chief, a new lieutenant. We saw the retirement of 2 EPD staff members, Lieutenant Deerdorf and Officer Lyons, both serving 25 years with the police department, really thanking them for their time and their service to the borough. We brought on an MS4 code enforcement official. MS4, always a great time. We needed to have a staff member to bring us in line for that. And then we also sold a building officially today. Plum Street Garage is no longer owned by Elizabethtown Borough. That has been sold to another entity that will be using this space in, from what we understand, a similar capacity. They're going to be doing some improvements, but Plum Street is no longer a public location. It is now privately owned. This year we have a number of infrastructure projects, and I think that's one of the really big things that we're going to look at over the next couple of years, not just 24, but out into 26, 27, looking at a lot of large infrastructure projects. So we have our year-to-year projects, our public works staff working on sewer and stormwater line replacements. We have a bridge replacement that will begin on Monday for anyone that travels South Chestnut Street. Beginning on Monday, that road will be closed. We will be doing a full bridge replacement, and we hope that that bridge is open again before school. Fingers crossed, knock on wood for me. So definitely some infrastructure work that we have going on. Another very large project is the Radio Road Interceptor. That is a sewer line that travels and takes waste in from the edge of Mount Joy Township all the way through to the borough to West Bainbridge. Very large scale project, about 50 easements we are seeking over that span of the project. And that project has been broken up into 2 phases. The first phase will begin in September, October of 24 and will be completed in early 25. And then the second phase will start in 25 and carry through into 26. Very large scale project. We've been very fortunate to be approved for a Penvest low financing loan for the first phase of that. So that is always helpful as it relates to the budget aspect. But that will be a large project. Hoping to keep disruptions to the minimum, but there will be some disruptions, some road closures, impacts to property owners, but looking to minimize those to the extent that we can. Another project that we are doing for our MS4 regulatory permit will be a stream and floodplain restoration. I know many others. I know West Donegal just finished one up. I think Mount Joy Township has also wrapped one up recently. We will be looking to work off of our Hickory Lane area, Hickory Lane Park within the borough. So it runs right within Radio Road over to Lime Street. We will be doing a stream restoration project within there, replacing a pedestrian bridge and repairing a pedestrian bridge and adding some trail access to that. So that project will begin in 25 and will be completed hopefully by this time next year so we can meet our permit conditions. And then we have this year ADA ramps and sidewalk replacements in preparation for paving in 25. And then we are still working tirelessly, very long time frame with PennDOT and Amtrak on the improvements that they would like to make for the parking lot that's at the train station, taking the upper lot to a paid lot, and also at the the long-term parking also as a paid lot. So working with Amtrak and PennDOT to execute those contracts and lease agreements. I would anticipate that would be a late 24, 25 project. And then if anybody's come through downtown, we have the random occasional downtown repairs that need to be done. Still working at replacing the traffic signal that was knocked down by a tractor trailer about a year and a half ago. That should be done by September. And then the other corner of the square was recently hit by a vehicle, so that should be repaired this summer as well. So that kind of touches on some of the infrastructure. And as we look forward, we can't do the infrastructure work without looking at our plans. So we have a master park plan that will kick off hopefully this summer or the fall of 24. And another very important plan that we have working in concert with our regional partners is the regional comp plan, looking at our comprehensive plan for West Onago, Mountjoy Township, Conoy, and Elizabethtown Borough, looking to finalize that comp plan. That should be done every 10 years, and we're a few years behind, but we're getting closer to having it wrapped up. We have a public meeting, a public hearing scheduled for Tuesday, July 18th to June. I'm sorry, did I say July? I meant June. Sorry, I need to keep all of the days together. I need them. So that will be June 18th. So this Tuesday at Masonic, looking to gather public comment on the current draft that we have, so we can hopefully finalize that and be on our way with the county and our regional efforts collectively. And then for the borough, I know you all are beginning to celebrate or starting to plan for a large celebration. We have the college looking at a large celebration. We have Rotary that will be having a celebration. Elizabethtown Borough in 2027 will be celebrating the 200th year. So we'll be starting to put together some of those planned efforts for 2027. With the projects that we have underway, myself and several of our staff members, we've really been trying to seek grants where possible. The more grants that we're able to take in for our projects, the more we're able to look at sharing our money across all of the projects that you have to maintain and grow within your infrastructure. So we have two applications that we have moving forward. One for some CDBG funds that's actually paying for a portion of the bridge replacement this year, and we're applying for funds for next year to do sanitary and stormwater improvements. And then we're looking at applying for a multimodal grant with PennDOT. Simply that one would be looking at receiving funding to be able to put pedestrian crossing and better signage along Market Street and High Street for pedestrians that are trying to cross at intersections. We're working with the school district and police and EPD to look at the intersections that we've highlighted. Are those the best ones? Are those the ones that we have the most traffic? Does the signage make sense at this location? One would be a perfect example right outside of this location. You have the signs that continuously flash. This would be a replacement of those that you'd press a button, they'd flash when somebody's at the intersection, and we'd be looking at installing those throughout downtown as well as along High Street by the school. So a couple of those projects that we're looking at, 24, most likely applying in 24, but completing the grant in 25 and 26, and then working with our partners at Gears as they are working for some updates to their buildings as well as the grounds that they have. So working with the partners here within Elizabethtown as well as regionally with the townships, just looking to build the area that we have celebrated. And the last piece that I will add is on celebrating and working together is encouraging folks to come downtown. A lot of effort and activity is happening with a lot of groups that want to do downtown activities, bringing folks into the community. So you have lots of strawberry events this weekend, kicking off with Second Friday, and I can't take any claims to planning any of this. I'm just looking to help promote some of it for them. So you have Second Friday events this weekend through the weekend onto Sunday. You have the farmers market every other Wednesday. So some really great activities that are trying to bring folks to the community, showcase what we have, and really just showcasing Elizabethtown and what we can offer. So spewed a lot out. I meant to time myself, and I forgot to. I can take some questions, but make them easy, please.
Will there ever be pickleball courts going in at any of our parks outside of years?
So that may be something that comes about as part of the master park plan. I know that is not something that I have in the works with our public works department or that's been presented to Borough Council, but that might be something that comes about as we look at our overall park system and what are the needs, what do we have, how do we make improvements to take that linear heart of the borough and really make it stand out. So, more to come on involvement with that master park plan when I get it together. Yeah.
I don't know if this is an easy question.
I'm completely kidding. I'll try.
With the light that was run over by the truck, driving past there the other day, was there any thought about moving those poles back on the square instead of replacing it at the exact same spot? Probably not.
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. And actually, we did a number of evaluations at that intersection. That was part of what took some of the time frame, besides taking a year to get a pole from one manufacturer. The poles are actually no longer going to be on the corner of that intersection. They are going to be back in the planters. That will limit some of what we can do during the holiday season and what we plant in the planters, but they will come off of the corner and go back into the planters on that intersection on kind of the fuel, Tatatoy, toy store side.
Plans for the building on West Hummelstown.
At 56 North Market. Right now, I have a proposal before Borough Council to put a new roof on the building, kind of protect what we have, and then I'm hoping that leads into some future discussions as to what they want to do with that space. We have Plum Street. They've made a decision on Plum Street, and that is off the books. So now I'm hoping we look at 56 of what do we do with this building to make it not just a vacant space. So nothing official yet.
The parking spaces out here. Is it ever going to line up with the meters, or are we doing electronic, or how? Because I parked and I was like, what is my number? And I'm like on top of the number, which is faded, figuring out which meter to punch for my money.
So over time, yes. One of the things that we did, that borough staff, public works staff did last year, is looking at the spacing, making sure that the parking space and the parking stall gives enough distance for the pedestrian point. So we did have to shift some of those parking spaces down. That's why now the parking meters are offset from that. We'd really like to see how the parking meter system works at the train station and see if that system could be incorporated downtown. But I'm not at an evaluation point for that. So over time, yes, it will line back up. But for right now, we wanted to make sure that there was good, clear visual based on PennDOT's requirements for where the pedestrian sides are and the parking stalls.
As a former commuter for 19 years on Amtrak, why are you charging for parking when you're trying to encourage mass transit? To me, that seems like you're fighting each other. Is there something specific that they want to charge for parking?
Yeah, so the charging at the lot for parking has actually been something that PennDOT has approached the borough for. It's something that they're looking, borough and Amtrak, or not the borough, PennDOT and Amtrak are looking across the Keystone line. So all of the other stations right now are switching over to a paid parking method. We are one of the only lots that does not have paid for parking. So this is definitely driven by PennDOT and Amtrak. We're just involved now because we have the lease on the parking and own the bottom parking lot. but it's trying to bring some consistency across the Keystone line for riders that are riding it, instead of taking everyone from Lancaster and dropping them here where we currently have free parking, which as a train rider in the past, I knew that would happen, know that happened in the past, but this is definitely something that's driven by Amtrak and PennDOT. The roundabout is not going to be in the square. It is at this point not proposed in Elizabethtown Borough, but there is one that's proposed, and that is going to be constructed, I believe, 24 into 25 in Mountjoy Township campus this fall, off of Campus Road area. So there is a roundabout coming, but it's not within the Elizabethtown Borough limits at this time.
So when people post on Facebook that there's going to be a roundabout in the spread, Scott Little does it all the time, just to rile people up, and you get like 400 comments.
Yeah, that would be that definitely takes a lot of space and a lot of real estate, and maybe not the best position for Center Square, and not something that we're planning here in the borough.
Where is that again? The roundabout?
Campus Road. Campus Road down at one of the tables. Speed tables.
Speed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Down there, because that's being developed on both sides.
Like halfway between Cloverleaf and E-Town.
Halfway between like Schaefer and Brawl.
Oh, Schaefer.
Yeah.
So the train park question, who gets those proceeds? And PennDOT and Amtrak are pushing for it. Do they get the money?
So Elizabethtown Borough will get the money, but we are responsible for enforcing it. So the parking management system is being driven by PennDOT and Amtrak. However, we would get the proceeds of that to offset the enforcement of that parking area, and as well as part of our upkeeping of the parcel.
I know, just lots of questions.
That's okay.
Is there any thought on a light or something at East High and Mountjoy Street? Like, there's always accidents there.
So not at this time. We've done some traffic study evaluation, but nothing at this time for that intersection.
Roundabout.
Again, we are not planning any roundabouts within Elizabethtown Borough.
What about Turnpike and
Possibly.
Masonic? No one knows how to stop at that one.
That's freeway.
That at that four-way at the Turnpike,
Turnpike and
The other
Sonic
side.
Yeah.
Street.
at the other side, that's how do I want to phrase this? We should go back to thinking about who stops first and looking at the next driver and going back to our learning how to driving stage.
I agree.
Like,
People
leaving it
don't.
up to the driver.
People don't realize that they just because anyway. People don't know how to stop.
That's the same way at the four-way.
Yeah.
I was there and somebody had to go and I was the next one up, but that other car was behind that one first. She went
Yep.
through. I'm like, wait a minute, it's when you get to the stop sign, check.
Yeah.
Well, our cars
I
are
did not
driving
look wrong. I did
for
not.
us these days. You know, they're putting brakes on cars.
Yeah, and
Actually, like the four-way roads.
yeah, and so a recent change that's gone into effect in the last month is the four-way stop at Masonic and Bainbridge. We had done a traffic study there. We did not meet the criteria from PennDOT to put in a traffic study, a traffic light, but we were able to put a four-way stop in to be able to alleviate some of that backup that happens, and also allowing that flow of traffic. And that's definitely been a learning curve. Several times I reminded my husband, hey, don't forget to stop, don't forget to stop. So
Nobody has had any accidents there.
not yet.
Because I asked when I'm in the ambulance building, nothing out there. It's convenient because it just run right outside, but there hasn't been any.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an excellent idea.
So I think this is a borough question. How come, because it's not just a borough, it's everywhere, why don't they do speed enforcement anymore? I think we'd have a heck of a lot less accidents if there were more speeding tickets handed out.
I'm so crazy.
So that's
My daughter just got pulled over.
Yeah.
so there are.
Everybody speaks.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it's not just limited to the borough. We see it all across. Some of us might be more guilty than others, especially thinking of what road you might be on. I will say for EPD, our police department, they do some targeted enforcement where they're checking speeding within areas. A lot of it comes down to the distance and having the ability to mark it from one area to the other. And then that brings in a whole nother topic of conversation of allowing radar, which is something that's been discussed and debated House and Senate level for a number of years. So I think if you were to have more of the radar, there might be more ticket enforcement. But I know our staff, and I'm not sure about Northwest Regional, but we do some targeted enforcement within areas that they can do the clocking and seeing the speed distance from one point to the next.
That's the biggest impediment is setting up the fast cars.
Well, but like, if you've gone down to Baltimore recently on 83, they have a camera system in place, and they will send you a speeding ticket, both directions if you're speeding on the same day. And I know this because I didn't do it, but a partner of mine got 2 tickets in the same day. I mean, and again, look, I speed like everybody else, but that's because nobody pulls me over.
Part of it is in Pennsylvania. It's really hard to do speed cameras in Pennsylvania because of current law. So I don't think there's anywhere in Pennsylvania that there are speed cameras. I know it happens in Maryland because I got tagged in Maryland down near Frederick once. But Pennsylvania has it's a very high hurdle to get over to do it. You can't even do traffic light camera. I mean, it's
Well, Pennsylvania's behind in a lot of things, including taxes. Well, there's a lot of hunters in Pennsylvania. Those cameras would be prime targets.
But I would reiterate though, the biggest impediment to speed traffic or speed policing is currently the way it's set up for local police in Pennsylvania. So call your representative, call your state senator, beat on them, give the local police radar, because I think that would help significantly, because it's a lot easier for them to do enforcement that way than to have to kind of hide in the bushes and put up timing lights to try and catch people. That's just really a cumbersome way of doing it. So we have constant complaints in West Donegal about
Well, yeah, there was just 2 accidents.
2 accidents on Turnpike, but they don't really right now. Local police's hands are kind of semi-tied. So unless they're, you have a limited number of guys and ladies who are policing, unless you're setting them out in the bushes and trying to catch speeders, they're basically not patrolling.
Pennsylvania is, I think, the
only state in the union.
in
The only state
the country that does not allow local radar. And for Northwest Regional, we get aggressive driving dollars. So guys are out there even working overtime, doing speed details, looking for texting and driving and seatbelts on and so forth. So that's done several times a year. Ask Tim Hawk. Tim Hawk called me one time. He says, "Hey, I just got pulled over." I say, "Who is it?" He says, "I can't go to jail. I'm too pretty." So it is being done.
Yep.
Don't call me if you get pulled over by Northwest Regional. I have no control over that. They look for inspection stickers.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Registration, they check the registration. Actually, we have, I think Northwest Regional, I think.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good update. Thanks for coming and getting grilled on stop signs and traffic lights.